Nation, this is Osa. I can't wait for the season to get started, get playing with you guys, get on the field and represent the star. You guys be sure to go check out J Tuck and subscribe to the Cowboys Fans Only and keep doing your thing, bro.
Doing Cowboys Nation, it's Kelvin Joseph. I can't wait for the season to get started. Be sure you check out J Tuck, subscribe to his channel. Keep shining, the sky's the limit. You know the vibe, stop playing.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy J Tuck, and you are now tuned into the Cowboys Fans Only channel. So do your boy a favor, comment, like, subscribe, somewhere down there, and be sure to turn on the notification bell to stay updated with all Dallas Cowboys CFO content. You dig? So I wanted to talk about something tonight, man, just very brief. I don't want to take all your time, man, because time is important, right? I don't want to take all your time tonight, but, you know, a lot of people have been talking about these undrafted free agents, and I know you're saying, Tuck, aren't you a little late to start talking about undrafted free agents? You shouldn't have been doing this weeks ago, but damn it, I provided y'all all that draft content. I was watching hours of film, so as soon as the draft was over, to be honest with y'all, I kind of sat back in the cut and chilled a little bit. I took time away from watching film and doing videos and everything. I just wanted to kind of decompress. And so, you know, me personally, I don't like to talk about players I don't know, right? So I had to do my research, had to kind of look for these players. And like, to be honest with you, some of these players is kind of hard to find film on because they played at smaller colleges, you know, different things like that. But I want to do my research, get my Tuck analysis on, right, and provide that to the people. So it takes sometimes it takes some time to cook up a little bit, man. But we're gonna cook. That's what we do on this channel, CFO gang. You dig, man? So I wanted to dive in on a few of the undrafted free agents that I think we'll see in training camp. We'll hear names in preseason, but you definitely want to keep your eye on. Now, to be honest with y'all, I think it's gonna be a slim chance that any of these guys make the final roster. Like, I think, to be honest with you, I don't see the diamond in the rough that actually makes the final 53. Now, they came out, I think, yesterday. Now, granted, shouts out to all the people who wish me a happy anniversary, and shouts out to my wife. You know, our anniversary was yesterday, so I kind of took Cowboys Day off, right? But I think it was yesterday, right? That I think that, you know, you can start off with the 90-man roster at camp, 85 players by August 17th, 80 by August 24th, and then your final 53 by August 31st. So, you know, you'll see some of these players kind of float around here and there, but making the final 53 is going to be tough for a lot of these guys, but we'll talk into that. So the very first guy I wanted to get into, right, and if you're a fan and you support this channel and you see me on other shows, you know, one of my favorite guys in the draft, even in the draft, right, you know, but he's an undrafted free agent. He happened to sign with the Dallas Cowboys. You know me. Y'all know me, fam. I like toys. I like, you know, I like fun. I like offensive weapons, man. And so my guy, TJ Vasher out of Texas Tech. Now, if you watch my live shows, man, I was always calling him like my fake Gucci belt, you know, knockoff brand Kyle Pitts. I was like, you know what? I can put some size on him and I'm going to turn him into Kyle Pitts. Now, he's not no Kyle Pitts, y'all. But as you clearly see, he has a playmaking ability. He's 6'6". I think he's like 215, but a huge catch radius. He's fast. Now, is he the best route runner? Nope. Is he kind of limited in his routes? He can only kind of run that 9 route? Yes. But sometimes it's all you need to do, bro. It's like, you know, some people have been knocking him so hard. It's like, Tuck, he can't run routes. Tuck, he can't run routes. Well, if I'm bigger than you, I can jump higher than you. In some cases, I might be even faster than you. I don't need to run routes. I'm just going to go deep and big boy ball you. So I feel like that's what TJ Vasher actually brings to this team. And you can kind of see what some of these draft picks, whether it's Simi Fioco, which is a player that we actually drafted, right? And we'll talk about some of these other undrafted free agents. Mike McCarthy likes these big, tall, wide receivers, to be honest with you. And me personally, I do too. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's fun to kind of have a big guy and a big target. But what it also helps with from the grand scheme of things is in the red zone, right? In the red zone, the Dallas Cowboys under, you know, Kellen Moore, we have struggled in the red zone for the most part. And so having some of these big, large, high catch radius wide receivers can often help with that. Now, will TJ Vasher make the final 53? I don't know. I don't think so. If I had to put money on it, I'd say I'm out. But I will say this. He's going to be a guy that we sit back during preseason and watch. and have a little fun with. And so I think that he might be a practice squad guy. I'm not sure if he can really fit on special teams because he's not a return guy. And so that's kind of the knock against him. It's like, where do you really fit him? So he's going to actually have to clearly beat someone out, which will be either a Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson, and I doubt it'll be Simi Fehoko. But TJ Vasher is definitely one of my favorite guys. Another guy that's listed is a tight end from Michigan, Nick Eubanks. Now, he's not fully developed. I'll say this about Eubanks. He's extremely raw. Not much production that he had at Michigan. I think he only had like 25 catches in 2019, something very extremely low. So, he has the size, but he's going to be a completely developable player. This is kind of, Rico Gathers experiment 2.0. Now, I will say this, when it comes to the tight end position, we have Dalton Schultz. You also have Blake Jarwin. And then you also have Jeremy Sprinkle, who we brought in as well. And so, there's going to be a conversation about, can Dalton Schultz actually beat Blake Jarwin out to be the tight end one? And I kind of saw that floating on Twitter. We're going to dive into that deeper because we got all summer to talk about that. But, all three of those guys, for the most part, they will be free agents and be unsigned from Dallas Cowboys next year. So there might be an opportunity to kind of find a guy, stash him away, build and mold him for the following season, because we'll probably lose either Sprinkle or Schultz or Jarwin, however that the chips kind of fall from there. But Eubanks is very raw, wasn't much high on production, but I feel like the intangibles and the size are there. Maybe that Mike McCarthy and the staff can mold something. The next guy, if I had to kind of circle a guy that I think can actually make the final 53, I would go with Anthony Hines, linebacker out of Texas A&M. And I say this, he's physical. He's great with the run, which we all know, stop the run. No more running in Dallas, as my guy Bohanna say, right? I feel like he brings us that dynamic. Now, he was an opt-out guy. He didn't play for a 2020 season. But I'll say this. The hard part about Hines now is that the linebacker room has, right? We went linebacker heavy. We went from last year not knowing about the depth of linebacker to having an abundance of linebackers. And so can Hines actually beat someone out? I believe he possibly can. So it's going to be really where does he fit? So I think this is going to be a project player. Like I said, from 2019, he was great in the run. I think he had like 10.5 tackles for losses at Texas A&M playing for Jimbo Fisher, my old ball coach. So Anthony Hines, if I had to circle any of these guys that I think could make the final 53, it would be Anthony Hines. And you also have Tyler Coyle. He started off at UConn. He was a safety, right? I know that Cowboys fans like that word, that safety word, right? I would like his safety, but he transferred over to Purdue, became a linebacker. So he's kind of that new hybrid, Jabril Cox, Keanu O'Neal type safety / linebacker, but he's only been playing linebacker for like a year, and it wasn't even a full season, so he really hasn't gotten too many reps at linebacker. But can Dan Quinn mold Tyler Coyle to be kind of this new hybrid if we move on from Keanu O'Neal next year, or maybe, kind of fill him in depth with Jabril Cox? Remains unseen, but he's kind of that mold, and I feel like Dan Quinn, that's the reason why the Cowboys brought him in. Another guy who also you might want to pencil in that can possibly make this roster is Braylon Jones, offensive guard out of Houston. Now, he's very green as well. Didn't have too many reps. I think he only started like 7 or 8 games. He's versatile. He can play guard. He can play center. And I think we're not really sure what's going to happen with Joe Looney. Is Joe Looney coming back, and what's the depth at the center position? So, we did draft, a guard the very last pick, kind of a center / rotational guy. So can Braylon Jones come in and beat him out and maybe get that final spot as kind of being that versatile swing guy between guard and center? Remains unseen. But he could be another guy that you possibly pencil in that might be a practice squad stash or a guy that might make the final 53. The next guy is a guy that we saw on Twitter, man, who was pulling trucks and all sorts of stuff, man. Nick Ralston out of Louisiana. He started off at Arizona State. He's a fullback. Now, it really comes down to the conversation. Where is Mike McCarthy's priority list when it comes to having a fullback? We also have Seawoonhouse. We also kind of have McKinnon. And there was talks of last year of using the tight ends as more of the H-back, with having like Dalton Schultz come down and playing a little bit a fullback role. So it really comes down to how do they value the fullback position in Dallas. I like the kid. He's strong as hell. We see he's pulling damn trucks by his neck, right? And he's very blue collar when you watch him. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife that's going to do his job. I wish he could play defense, man, because he kind of reminds me of that TJ Watt type mold, when you kind of look at him, man. But, I really don't know where he's going to fit if Mike McCarthy's plans for the future really has to bring in, a fullback. And is he going to be able to beat in the veterans that we already have in place? Remains unseen. Another guy from a small school, Jaquan Hardy, right? Out of Tiffin. Now, this guy, he was kind of hard to find film on. Wasn't too much film on him to be fine. I think Tiffin's a D3 school, possibly. But from the statistically and for everything I've been reading about him, he had, great numbers. Had a few fumbles here and there. He's a kind of a shiftier back. He's not kind of a Tony Pollard, I would say. He's more kind of an in between. He's a physical runner, but he's a little bit shifty. And so, but the thing is like at that time, is he really playing his quality, competition at that level? You really don't know. And so I highly doubt that he makes the roster. You'll see him on preseason getting a few snaps here and there, but will he make the final 53? Highly doubtful. Another running back that, I kind of watch and I like because he's a big bruiser, right? And though we do have Zeke, I feel like sometimes the Dallas Cowboys could use an extra body, just a big banger, especially now going to the 17-game format, and that's Brendan Knox out of Marshall. He's 6 foot 223, bruiser back. He returned kicks, I believe, as well. So he returned a few kicks here and there. So maybe he can get the knock on special teams and kind of find that as his entryway into the Cowboys roster, because we know special teams is going to be extremely important when it comes to the Cowboys this year. But, I think with Tony Pollard, you also have Zeke. How many running backs will the Dallas Cowboys keep on that final roster remains to be unseen, especially if you do have a fullback. Traditionally, that'll probably be your other running back that you count for that roster spot. So it really depends if he can come in and beat somebody out, but I would definitely keep my eye on him during preseason and during camp. The next guy, let's see who we got. Osiris Mitchell. So Osiris Mitchell, he was a guy, I think he was out of Mississippi State. Yeah. Another big guy. Like I said, Mike McCarthy likes these big, tall wide receivers. 6'5". He's like 206. He's a little bit lighter than, Vasher, but he doesn't have the speed of Vasher. But he has decent hands, right? And so he doesn't create a lot of separation. Not the best route runner once again, but he's also a red zone threat that could be utilized, once we're in the red zone. So I would definitely keep an eye on him during the camp and also preseason as well. Next one, another wide receiver, is a little bit shorter, but Brandon Smith out of Iowa, 6 foot, not the fastest guy, but he's athletic. He's a little bit better route runner than the other two, but he's been some inconsistent drops here and there, so he's not the most reliable when it comes to his hands. And so it kind of comes down to what flavor of ice cream would Mike McCarthy really prefer when it comes to kind of these rookies and, where these undrafted rookies and, where they can really fit. But like I said, the wide receiver slot, it's going to be hard, knocking on wood, bearing injury, that I see these guys make the actual wide receiver slot. It's going to have to be through special teams if they're going to make this roster. The next one is, let's talk about. Yeah, Brandon Smith. Yeah, Brandon Smith. So, Artavious Lynn, tight end out of TCU, another project, very raw, not the best route runner. He doesn't catch many passes. He's kind of just a blocking tight end. I really don't see how he fits unless he finds a way into special teams. So I would kind of be out on Lynn. I don't think he's going to make the roster or anything special. Like I said, he does have the size is there, but he's just, I haven't seen too much as far as the passing game is concerned. He's just kind of a run blocker, and I kind of doubt that he makes the roster. And then last one is Austin Faoliu. My guy, Professor O, correct me if I'm pronouncing last name wrong. Shout out to Professor O. 6'3", 300 defensive tackle out of Oregon. Now, this guy could be a wild card, right? He's extremely physical. He likes to bang in the trenches. Like I said, it's extremely raw, but if you want that's that guy you can kind of put in the phone booth and have him bang out a little bit in the trenches, he would be your guy. So I would definitely keep an eye on Austin Faoliu out of Oregon, because he's one of those guys that I think Dan Quinn's going to want to muddy up. Is he a one tech? No, he's more of a 3 tech, and we already have the 3 techs in house with Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, and the list goes on and on and on. But maybe he comes in and he bangs out and he earns a spot, or maybe he's a practice squad stash. So I just want to dive in quickly, man, about some of these undrafted free agents. Let me know, comment below, Who are some guys that you think is going to make the roster or has a chance to make the roster? Like I said, if I had to put money on it, I would say Anthony Hines has the best shot. And then also Braylon Jones, the guard out of Houston. But holla at your boy, man. Let me know down in the comments, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Comment, like, subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter at jtuck151 and turn that notification bell. And also, CowboysFansOnly.com. Get your CFO merch and use the code tag CFOGain to get 10% off all of your purchases, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace.